everything that doesn't correspond with it in every particular is of itself cast down by the indisputable status of the real truth. Oh, now wait a minute. Is he saying then that if I learn how to speak in this way, then by contrast I'll be able to ignore and reject all else? Then he's saying this is going to be a standard. I'm going to get a standard for my reasoning in such a way as I can use that and then compare it against everything else. That's the standard. I can then judge whether these other things are true simply by contrasting one with the other. Ah, well, how do you do that? Well then, what must we do? Well, we first have to know about the truth, and then having known it, to speak. That's his conclusion on 137. So now, what are we going to get? We're going to now see whether we can get the basic idea of the cause. That's where we're going, all right? The fundamental cause. That's where we're going. If we get that clear in our mind, we can then use it to build these other things. Now, in the same way as before, I'm letting everything recede. And I'm at about 10 lines down from the top. I mean Apolophanes, do you see that? Then the next sentence is, for it is through, that's where I'm starting, for it is through the knowledge of beings, well-called philosophy. They just kicked out philosophy, didn't they? What's he doing? He's bringing it back. So he's saying, it is through the knowledge of beings, well-called philosophy by him, and the wisdom of God by the divine Paul, that true philosophers should be elevated to the cause, both of beings themselves and the knowledge of beings. Well, what is that? True philosophers should be elevated to the cause, both of beings themselves and the knowledge of beings. Philosophers should be elevated, brought up, right, to this realm, right? To take a look at this realm. This is going to be the thing they're going to have to master. That's philosophers. That's what they do. Whatever beings. Hey, do you know what being means? That's easy. Right? Would you agree? The idea in the mind of God, which is the basis of all creation, everything that was, will be, has been, all wrapped up into a simple thing, that has to have some enduring quality, must it not? Being must be the source of all vitality in life, vitality in being. It really has to be the essence of what's intelligible, another word for being. All of those words can be shifted back and forth because they're all hyphenated. They're not, as it were, separate and individual things. They're hyphenated. If you want to talk about the abiding aspect of this idea, being. If you want to talk about its cognitive aspect, intelligible. If you want to talk about it in terms of the way in which it can function, mind. If you want to talk about it whether or not it's dead or it has a liveliness, vitality. See, these are all hyphenated then. And therefore it's sometimes called beings, plural. Or sometimes pure being. All right, going back. The true philosopher should be elevated to the cause both of beings themselves and the knowledge of being. Well, what would be the cause of that? God. Well, as we said. Did we say that God must have, the first creation must have been the idea in the mind of God? The idea in the mind of God, that's an intelligible model. That's the same as this. Therefore, if you're going to look for the cause of that, that's God. That's the good. Therefore, how should philosophers function? They should be elevated to seek the cause of this realm. If they do that, what are they after? In some way, the knowledge of God. The good or the one. Now, being wise, right? I'm going to bracket a section at 1080. 1080C. See the little numbers on the left-hand side? I hope they're on your text. It's right in the middle of the section. But in order that he may not refute the opinion of others or unawares his own, Apolophanes, all right, now I'm going to pick it up. Being wise, we ought to, I'm putting in the word we ought to understand that no element of the celestial order and motion would be able to change anomalously were it not for its cause. Hey, you know what he's saying there for? There is an order established in the universe. It is final. It is put there. Any change must be attributed to God. There's no room for chance. There's no room for randomness. There is nothing in it except pure order, intelligible. Therefore, in this universe that we live in, order prevails. There isn't anything other than order. Any kind of change must be attributed to the cause. Therefore, we ought to understand that no element of celestial order or motion would be able to change the cause which produces all things, transforms all things. Hey, wait a minute, it's not just a creator, we're adding a vital element to it. This is a transformative God. Hey, this is a transformative. What does that mean? It means what it's doing is somehow transforming the very things that are being created. Hey, wait a minute. See, this artist, he makes a copy. It has no being, right? It's not in. It has some aspects of copy. There's some relationship between these two. It has some kind of intelligibility. It shows some evidence of skill, but it's dead. You know, I doubt whether any painting ever danced or spoke back to you. It doesn't have a low level of mind, right? It ain't going to be there in 1,000 years. Therefore, being is eternal. Now look. Therefore, that painting doesn't change. You know what? If this painting could change and make itself better, then it would be capable of transforming itself, which is obviously ludicrous to think of. But he's saying that in the creation of our universe, there is that capacity of transformation. The universe then can turn upon itself, and it has built into it the property of being recursive, turning upon itself and transforming itself. Growth, development is possible. He snuck that in right in that line. Then how should we not then reverence God, known to us even from this, and being really the God of the whole, by admiring the power beyond speech of the cause of all things? We are now learning something about being, what philosophers do, what their goal is, what they're trying to achieve. We're seeing that the whole universe, therefore, is ordered. There's no chance element in it. It not only is developed, but it has a transformative quality. If it has a transformative quality, then people who are interested in knowing can be transformed by their knowing. It's built into the universe. 8.